Did you know that just 5 simple exercises can completely transform the shape and function of your body? Let's start with the first one, the dead hang, a powerful movement you've probably seen at the gym. Just hang from the bar without swinging and wonder, how does this help? In fact, this exercise is unbeatable for strengthening your grip, decompressing your spine, and improving shoulder health. And the best part is you don't need a full gym. A simple doorway pull-up bar will do. If you spend hours sitting, learning the correct technique makes all the difference. To perform it, find a sturdy bar, grip it with your hands slightly wider than shoulder width, let your body drop naturally, keep your shoulders relaxed and your core engaged, and hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Then gradually increase to 1 or 2 minutes, always respecting your limits and maintaining good posture, because the dead hang demands more than it appears. To further boost results, warm up your shoulders first with light rotations and lateral raises, and focus on your breathing. Inhale before you lift yourself, exhale as you settle into the hang, keeping your neck tension-free. If you feel discomfort, slightly adjust your grip, pronated or supinated, until you find the sweet spot. An advanced variation is the active hang, where you engage your scapulae by pulling them down and back, intensifying the engagement of your back and shoulders, reducing muscle shortening and increasing scapular stability. Alternate dead hangs and active hangs in sets of 3 to 5 reps with 30 to 45 seconds of rest for a more dynamic and comprehensive workout. Incorporate the dead hang into your routine 2 to 3 times per week, especially after pulling exercises like pull-ups or rows, and complement with movements that strengthen the core and promote thoracic mobility, ensuring a balanced approach that prevents injury and maximizes gains in strength, posture, and joint health. Beyond the dead hang, include complementary exercises that work different muscle groups synergistically. Pushing and rotational movements, like a push-up with a torso twist, can activate the serratus anterior and obliques, improving motor control. Unilateral horizontal pulling exercises, such as inverted rows, reinforce strength balance between the sides of the body, and prone back extensions help stabilize the lower back. Also consider dynamic mobility routines before training, such as active tricep stretches and quadruped spinal rotations, to prepare the musculature and reduce joint stiffness. Progression should be judicious. Once the dead hang feels comfortable for 2 minutes, add weight with a belt or vest and reduce rest time between sets. To optimize recovery, perform light flexibility and myofascial release sessions on the shoulders, neck, and lats using a foam roller or tennis ball, and respect rest days between intense workouts. And remember that consistency is key. Set long-term goals, record your times and variations in a training log, and adjust the load as you gain endurance. This way, you'll create a virtuous adaptation cycle, avoiding plateaus and ensuring constant progress in strength, mobility, and overall health. How much can you transform your body intelligently and safely? Join our community, subscribe to the channel, and hit notifications so you don't miss any content. And more importantly, share in the comments which aspect you feel you need to develop. Is it strength, stability, balance, or that nagging back pain? I really want to hear your story to tailor upcoming videos to your real needs. You've already warmed up your shoulders, strengthened your grip, and now it's time to focus on the lower body and core with the glute bridge. A fantastic exercise for building glute strength, improving trunk stability, and relieving tension in the hip flexors, areas often neglected by men in their training routines. By activating these overlooked muscles, you stabilize the pelvis and support the lower back, making daily actions like walking, climbing stairs, or lifting heavy objects easier and pain-free. If any physical activity feels challenging or you experience lower back tightness, the glute bridge should be a fixed part of your routine to make you feel younger and stronger. To perform it, lie on your back with knees bent and feet flat at hip width. Press through the heels as you lift your hips, squeeze your glutes at the top, keep your core braced, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and then lower slowly. If it becomes too easy, Try the single leg variation or add light weight on your hips. Also, be mindful to keep your knees aligned with your toes. Avoid lumbar hyperextension. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you lift, respecting the movement's rhythm to prevent compensations. A bonus tip is to place a mini band above the knees to reinforce activation of the gluteus medius, improving lateral control and preventing knee collapse. Include 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps with 30 to 45 seconds of rest, and pair this exercise with standing active hip flexor stretches and quadruped hip mobilizations to optimize range of motion. By incorporating the glute bridge twice a week, you not only strengthen the core and posterior chain, but also build a solid foundation for squats and deadlifts with greater safety. For an extra challenge, try elevating your feet on an unstable surface such as a step or Swiss ball, further increasing stability demands. Finally, track your progress in a training log. Note contraction time, range, and sensations, and progressively adjust load or difficulty to keep advancing, as consistency and controlled progression are essential for lasting gains in strength, posture, and joint health. And get ready, because the 5th exercise will reverse years of spinal wear using rotational movements, but you'll see that very soon. We're now at the farmer's carry. This exercise is simple yet incredibly effective. At first glance, it may look like just walking with weights, but this movement provides a full-body workout that develops the shoulder girdle muscles, strengthens your grip, stabilizes your core, and enhances balance and overall coordination. It also challenges your posture, as you must resist the natural pull of the weights trying to throw you off balance. This exercise isn't just about building strength, but about functionality. It mimics everyday activities like carrying groceries or dragging luggage through an airport. The farmer's carry not only makes those daily tasks easier, but also reduces injury risk by training your body to handle heavy loads safely and efficiently. To perform it, grip a pair of dumbbells, kettlebells, or any heavy object you can hold securely. Start with a weight you can manage comfortably and gradually increase it as your strength improves. Stand tall with your shoulders back, chest open, and core engaged. If the weight feels unstable, adjust your grip or lower the load until you find the sweet spot. Then, take firm, controlled steps, keeping your hips level and avoiding side-to-side sway. Cover progressive distances. Begin with 10 to 15 meters, and as you gain confidence, extend to 20, 30, or even 50 meters. A good strategy is to perform 3 to 5 sets with 60 to 90 seconds of rest for a balance of intensity and recovery. To up the ante, try the suitcase carry by switching the weight between hands every 10 meters, forcing your body to resist unwanted trunk rotation and improving postural control. Or attach a resistance band from your ankle to the opposite hand to boost functional resistance demands. Cadence is also key. Maintain a steady pace, avoiding steps that are too short and compromise stability or too long and overload the hips. Pay attention to your breathing. Inhale deeply before each set and exhale with each step, keeping your core tight to maximize force transfer. Notice the activation of your hip stabilizers, as a well-executed farmer's carry strengthens the gluteus medius and minimus, preventing imbalances that lead to knee and lower back injuries. To complement this exercise, schedule grip variations. Try a neutral grip with palms facing inward or a double object grip with one hand holding a larger weight and the other a smaller one, promoting interesting neuromuscular adaptations. You can also pair the farmer's carry with an improvised yoke carry by supporting a barbell across your shoulders to simulate transporting heavy loads over longer distances. Ideally, slot the farmer's carry at the end of functional circuits or immediately after compound movements like squats and deadlifts, as accumulated fatigue will maximize recruitment of supporting fibers and core endurance. To prevent joint overload, watch your wrist alignment. Keep them in line with your forearms to avoid excessive flexion, and finish the session with static forearm and shoulder stretches. The following day, use a lacrosse ball for light myofascial release on your forearms and perform wrist mobilizations to speed recovery. Finally, track your progress by recording the weight, distance carried, and time under tension, adjusting the load or distance weekly to keep the progression stimulus alive. In this way, the farmer's carry will evolve from a simple endurance exercise into a powerful catalyst for functional strength, superior posture, and the ability to handle everyday tasks with agility and confidence. Now that we've focused on building strength and stability, let's shift attention to a movement that restores mobility and flexibility: the deep rest squat, one of the most restorative and fundamental positions for the human body. It's a posture we're designed to spend time in, but due to modern lifestyles, long hours seated, tight hips, and reduced lower body strength, many people struggle to assume or even maintain it. This exercise not only strengthens the legs and core, but also improves ankle, hip, and knee mobility, making it especially useful for tasks like squatting to pick something off the floor, gardening, or even sitting comfortably on the ground. If you've ever had difficulty squatting without feeling tension or imbalance, this movement is essential for regaining natural functionality, carrying over into many other exercises and making them much easier to perform. I know it sounds easy, but I recommend starting gradually. Position your feet shoulder-width apart, with toes turned out slightly at a comfortable angle. Then slowly sink into a deep squat, keeping your heels firmly on the floor, chest lifted and back neutral, aiming to hold the position for about 20 to 30 seconds at first, and over time, gradually increasing to 1 or 2 minutes. If balance is a challenge, hold onto a sturdy object like a bench or chair for extra stability. Keep your heels pressed into the ground at all times and avoid rising onto your toes to maintain proper joint alignment. To complement and amplify the benefits of the rest squat, add range of motion variations. Tilt your torso slightly forward while keeping your core engaged to work the spinal extensors more. Perform small heel lifts during the descent to mobilize the ankle joint. Include gentle hip rotations by turning your knees inward and outward, each repetition to improve dynamic stability. Another valuable tip is to incorporate diaphragmatic breathing techniques during the squat. Exhale as you descend and inhale as you rise, synchronizing your breathing rhythm with the movement to reduce intra-abdominal pressure and increase core activation. Also, use mini bands above your knees to reinforce abductor activation and prevent medial collapse, enhancing neuromuscular control and reducing future injury risk. For advanced athletes or those seeking a greater challenge, try progressive resistance levels such as holding a kettlebell at chest height, goblet squat, or perform the rest squat on an unstable surface like a balance pad, increasing the proprioceptive demand. Integrate this movement into your daily mobility routine, preferably before activities requiring leg strength, and finish each session with myofascial release on the quadriceps and hip flexors, using a foam roller or tennis ball to relieve tension spots. Consistent practice of the rest squat not only gradually restores healthy movement patterns, but also contributes to a more upright posture, reduces low back pain, and improves the efficiency of everyday movements, creating a solid foundation for any functional or athletic training program. The thread the needle exercise is essential for incorporating rotational movement into your training and protecting your flexibility as you age. Begin in a quadruped position with your knees hip-width apart and your hands under your shoulders, keeping your core engaged to stabilize the spine. Next, slide one arm under your torso, bringing your shoulder and the side of your trunk toward the floor, and turn your gaze toward the sliding arm to deepen the thoracic spine stretch. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds at the peak of the rotation, then return the arm to the starting position, repeating 8 to 12 times per side without losing lumbar neutrality or allowing the hips to follow the movement excessively. To maximize benefits, Keep your gaze steady and move your trunk mindfully. Inhale as you slide the arm under your body and exhale as you return, synchronizing breath and movement. A slow, controlled execution mobilizes each thoracic vertebra and effectively activates the muscles around the scapula, such as the rhomboids and lower trapezius, reducing myofascial adhesions and preventing stiffness. To progress and thread the needle, try variations like forearm support. Perform the movement by sliding your entire forearm under your torso, increasing the stretch and demanding greater core control. Another option is to perform the rotation on an unstable surface, placing hands or knees on a balance disc to intensify deep stabilizer recruitment. If you feel wrist discomfort, support the palm on its side or make a closed fist grip to maintain wrist to forearm alignment. We recommend inserting thread the needle at the end of your session, after strength and thoracic mobility exercises, for 2 to 3 sets with 30-second rest intervals, or as part of a quick mobility circuit during warm-up. Additionally, pair it with prone back extensions, alternating extension and rotation mobility to balance antagonistic spinal movements. To speed adaptation, actively use a soft foam roller or therapy ball on the thoracic region before your sets, relieving tension points and facilitating joint gliding. Keep a training log, recording frequency, variation used, and subjective range of motion perception to fine-tune weekly progressions. Advanced practitioners can combine thread the needle with specific isometric holds. Once you reach maximum rotation, sustain the position for 10 to 15 seconds in an active isometric to reinforce local muscular endurance. Considering the importance of diaphragmatic breathing for core stabilization, adopt a technique where you inhale deeply while preparing the movement and exhale forcefully as you slide, creating intra-abdominal pressure that protects the spine. By integrating thread the needle consistently, you will achieve a significant increase in thoracic mobility, reduce chronic shoulder and neck discomfort, and build a solid foundation for more complex movements like dumbbell rotations or Olympic lifting complexes, enhancing your performance and long-term quality of life. To perform this exercise correctly, begin in a quadruped position with your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees aligned under your hips, keeping your back neutral. Next, reach one arm beneath your body, threading it through the eye of the needle between the opposite arm and same side leg, allowing your torso to rotate as you follow the hand with your gaze. Then, extend that arm as far as possible without letting your hips rotate. Keep them stable and facing forward. Hold the maximal rotation for 2 to 3 seconds, then return the arm to the starting position. Repeat 8 to 12 times per side before moving on to the next phase of your structured routine. To deepen the benefits, synchronize your breathing. Inhale deeply before sliding the arm under your body, and exhale in a controlled manner as you return, increasing intra-abdominal pressure to protect the spine. This diaphragmatic breathing pattern boosts core stability and facilitates joint glide. Another key tip is to actively contract the opposite glute during rotation to prevent the hip from following the movement, ensuring mobility occurs in the thoracic spine rather than the lower back. If your range feels limited, warm up beforehand with seated trunk rotations or kneeling thoracic extensions against a bench. For an extra challenge, try the forearm support variation. Place your forearm under your torso instead of your hand to increase the stretch and demand greater core control. Alternatively, secure a mini band above your elbows to resist the rotation, further recruiting the shoulder and trunk stabilizers. Finally, remember to include myofascial release before and after each session, using a foam roller or lacrosse ball on your thoracic spine to relieve tight spots and prepare connective tissue. With consistent practice and thoughtful progression, thread the needle will not only restore your rotational mobility, but also serve as a foundation for more complex movements, such as dumbbell rotations and medicine ball throws, enhancing daily functionality and reducing your risk of chronic neck and upper back pain. Now it's time to show how to combine these exercises into a quick, effective workout to be done 3 times a week. Start with the dead hang for 3 sets of 30 seconds, gradually working up to 1 or 2 minutes with 45 to 60 seconds of rest between sets. Next, perform the glute bridge for 2 sets of 10 to 15 reps, focusing on maximal contraction at the top and a controlled descent. Move on to the farmer's carry, walking for 30 to 60 seconds in 3 rounds, keeping your torso upright and resting 60 seconds at the end of each round. Then do the thread the needle for 2 sets of 10 reps per side, prioritizing diaphragmatic breathing and spinal alignment. And finally, finish with the rest squat, holding the position for the desired duration, starting at 20 seconds and progressively increasing to 1 minute. Include a brief joint warm-up beforehand and a cool-down with dynamic stretches at the end, logging weights, times and sensations in a training journal to track your progress and ensure consistent improvement. Hold each exercise for 20 to 30 seconds in 2 to 3 rounds, always resting about 1 minute between sets. In total, this workout takes approximately 20 minutes and addresses strength, mobility, and flexibility. When performed consistently 3 times per week, it will yield noticeable results. Share this video with a friend you think could also benefit. To maximize gains, track your progress by recording times, loads, and sensations in a training journal. Gradually adjust the intensity of the sets as you build endurance. Pair your regimen with a balanced diet rich in protein and recovery-promoting micronutrients, and invest in quality sleep to optimize regeneration processes. Additionally, conduct monthly mobility assessments to identify areas for improvement and adjust the program as needed, ensuring sustainable and safe long-term progress. For me, the aspect that resonated the most was the recovery of confidence in one's own movements. We often hear about strength, mobility, or balance in isolation, but feeling secure to move your body without the fear of pain or losing control is what truly transforms daily life. Whether it's the simple act of getting up off the floor, playing with your children, or tackling a flight of stairs without hesitation. My story is that of someone who's tried everything, and even with some good spot results, felt like something was missing. A starting point to regain bodily autonomy. This training, by combining strength, mobility, and postural awareness, gave me the feeling that my body is obeying my commands again, rather than the other way around. With every dead hang, glute bridge, or thread the needle, I noticed progress not only in numbers, time, load, repetitions, but in the confidence that I'm on the right path. And you, which of these aspects touched you the most? Did you need to strengthen your legs to resume everyday activities? Were you looking to relieve that back pain that's been following you? Or like me, did you want to regain the security of moving without fear? Share your story here in the comments. Your experience inspires the community and guides our future content. If this content has planted the seed of transformation in you, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Join those who have decided to take charge of their own health with small, consistent decisions. And if you've made it this far, leave a comment with the word Couragem. It's the sign that we're together on this journey, and who knows, your courage might inspire someone else to take their first step today.